1Dokita New Moms Community Classes. Welcome to our first episode and many more wonderful episodes coming up. I'm happy that you're joining us today for the 1Dokita New Moms Classes, as it's for you mothers to give you the best of the best. So today we'll be talking about pregnancy and your baby. It's all about you and your baby, and that is what the discussion is going to be. But first of all, I want to know what do you think about the program which we are running? What would you like to learn? What would you like to know better? What's your idea of it? What's your concern? What do you think about it? You can comment as we're talking and discussing about it, and we'll review together and get to know you better and know what you want better. But going on with the session, we'll be talking about pregnancy, because this is a new moms community class, and it's all about pregnancy, babies, and making more babies for Nigeria. So we'll be talking about pregnancy, the symptoms. The trimester is 3. What are they about? What do you go through in each stage? How does your baby get fed? What crosses the placenta? What nourishment does your baby get, and how does your baby get it? What food should you avoid during pregnancy to ensure you and your baby get maximal nourishment? And what about our own local Nigerian foods? How can we incorporate it to give you and your baby the best nutrition during pregnancy? So that's what we're going to be talking about. And let's just give a brief of pregnancy. It's actually when a baby or an offspring is developing in a woman. Let's put it simply as that. And it could be one offspring or more than one, multiple offspring, 2, 3, twins, triplets, quadruplets, and many more. How many do you want? So it occurs as a result of fertilization between the sperm of the man and the egg. It could be natural fertilization, or it could be in vitro fertilization. Artificial modes of getting pregnant are available these days. So pregnancy usually takes 40 weeks or 9 months, but it could be lesser than that, and it could be a little bit more than that. These are things we'll continue to discuss about as the 1Dokita New Moms Community classes go on. We'll give you more in-depth knowledge into this, and we'll give you more in-depth knowledge into taking care of your baby, training your baby, feeding your baby well. So what occurs during pregnancy? A lot of changes do actually occur during pregnancy. And the first thing is, when someone is pregnant, you notice a few things, and you should also do tests. Most people do have the urine strip in the house, which they can easily buy from a pharmacy. You can use tests and know, okay, I'm pregnant or not. And it's very easy to buy, it's very easy to use. If you notice two strips, 2 lines on the strip after using it, yes, you're pregnant. And if it's just one line, or one deep dark line and a fainter line, that means it's still a bit shaky here and there. But the best way to confirm is with a blood test. Pregnancy blood test helps you to know better. And also, an ultrasound can be very useful in knowing what stage you are at pregnancy, what is going on during the pregnancy, and all. If you notice, when I've been discussing with a lot of you mothers about our new moms community classes, I usually ask, have you done the scan? Okay, what did the scan show? Things like that. It's a way for us to know, yes, how well is the pregnancy going? Is it a single fetus? Is it more than one? Is it well placed? Is the amniotic fluid inside okay? These are many things that we want to know about the pregnancy, so that you know the best care to be given. So this is what medicine is about. And what changes occur as a woman is pregnant? a lot of changes, in fact all over the body. Physiologically, our behavior might also change. Our heart might change. There might be some changes in the heart. The lungs, there might be changes also. The kidneys, all these go through some changes. Most times, a lot of women notice a change in their sense of taste and their sense of smell. They get easily irritated with things. There might be some people, what they don't eat before, you notice they start eating it. Why? Because of the changes that occurs. There could also be enlargement of the breast, increase of blood supply to the breast, increase of blood flow, so, and also increase in the heart rate. You notice your heart is beating faster. There could be decrease in the blood pressure. That's why most times when we do blood pressure, check blood pressure for pregnant women, we usually notice a decrease. Some of them are like, is it okay? Is it normal? Yes, it could be fine, it could be normal, and it's usually a bit lesser than when you're not pregnant. And there's also increased need for glucose, water. More food is needed because you are taking care of not just yourself but your baby also. But that doesn't mean so much increase that you now have to eat a lot. No, just a little bit more, and mainly nutritious foods, which we are still going to talk about more in depth. There would also be increased blood supply to the uterus because the baby is growing, and as the baby is growing, more blood flow is needed to ensure that growth goes well. And the kidneys and the bladder might also increase, and you notice you usually go to the toilet more often than before. And also there could be changes in the skin. Some people notice they start having some pimples, some discoloration on their face, in their body. Little things like that happen. So all these changes do not all occur at once. It's usually, pregnancy is in 3 stages, which we call trimesters. We have the first trimester, the second trimester, and the third trimester. And the symptoms you notice during pregnancy usually occurs according to these trimesters. You can notice vomiting, more frequent urination, sleepiness, you feel tired. Those are the first signs you notice. Feeling nauseated, any little things like what's smelling here, all and all. There could be heartburn, there could be backaches because of the weight of the baby, but that usually occurs in the third trimester because of the weight of the baby. And morning sickness, some people complain of that. But as long as it's not too serious, you're not always throwing up, you're fine. But there is a particular severe condition called hyperemesis gravidarum, which there is excess vomit occurring. So this would need extra care, not something you can manage just like that. You need to speak to a healthcare professional to help you better. So in the first trimester, this is where you notice you're pregnant, little changes, or you might not even notice any change like that, but you just, it's going and down. This usually occurs between the 1st to the 13th week. First trimester takes about 13 weeks or 3 months. And what do you notice? It might not be visible at all. You look so fit, firm, and perfect. But this is the time when you need to be careful. What else could you notice? There could be spotting. You might be wondering, am I seeing my period, or why am I noticing little blood here and there? That might be the first time. Feeling more tired, feeling nauseated, breast might get a bit more swollen, the nipples might be more darkened. There could be increase in you making use of the toilet, going to the restroom, and there could even be mood changes. Women are usually very fragile people. We might attribute this to menstrual period, but actually it's pregnancy. And there could also be the pregnancy glow that you have, like you begin to look finer, prettier. Everybody's telling you you're looking good, even without makeup, you're looking nice. You don't know you're pregnant. But when you do the test, or when you now notice that you missed your period, that might now be the first sign that what's going on here, possibly you're pregnant. And at this point, what happens? What is going on in the development of the baby? The head, the nose, the eyes, the baby's toes, fingers, bones, spinal cord, and intestine are all developing. So this is a very, very fragile period. It's a period where the mother should avoid anything that can affect a baby. And it's a period where you need to increase your nutritional level to help your baby grow better, to make sure that everything is fine with your baby. So a lot of mothers, when you get married or when you know you want to have a baby, you're trying for a baby, avoid anything like alcohol, like tobacco, anything, caffeine, anything that contains caffeine like coffee, coke, and all that could affect your baby, so that baby is going to be fine. You don't want to have any medical condition that needs to be treated later, or that doesn't let the pregnancy progress beyond the level it is. So this is a very, very delicate stage. And at the 12th week, the baby's face begins to take shape. So when we say somebody just got pregnant, it's still just blood. But really, is it just blood? From the first day fertilization occurs, the baby is beginning to grow. It's a stage, it's a developmental process. One thing has to happen before it continues. So it's not just blood, it was sperm and an ovum or an egg that came together. And in 24 to 72 hours, a lot of changes begin to occur. The baby moves from a portion of your fallopian tube to the uterus and implants and begins to grow and grow up to that stage. And moving on to the second trimester, this occurs between 4 to 6 months of pregnancy, or the 14th week to the 27th week. So you need to start thinking, what trimester are you? How many weeks far gone are you? If you've done a scan, you should have an idea of this. If you've not done a scan, I advise you go do one so that you know what stage of pregnancy you are, apart from just doing the urine test or the blood test. And what occurs during this period? Well, the symptoms you notice in the first trimester begin to disappear. You might not notice nausea, you might not notice you being tired, you might not notice the fact that your period did not occur, or you were spotting, all those things, like what's going on, you're not sure. And the pregnancy begins to show. So there's evidence there, not like in the first trimester where still very small, so the process is not really identified by anybody. But in the second trimester, the pregnancy begins to show, and as the pregnancy begins to show, you could begin to have backaches and more frequent urination because of the pressure of the baby in the uterus. But at this stage, there is lesser risk of miscarriage and lesser risk of premature labor occurring, as compared to the first trimester, where we said we need to be very, very careful. That's the most delicate stage of pregnancy. So in this second trimester, the baby begins to assume a larger size. The baby is more active. This is when you notice that your baby is kicking. A lot of people are always so happy when the baby is kicking. You want to touch, you want to feel. Even your husband, family members want to see, okay, which side, where can we feel it? Where can we feel the baby kicking? And the baby in the uterus is actually can suck his or her thumb. A lot of activities are going on. The baby is not just there, silent and quiet anymore. And at this point, you are halfway into your pregnancy. The eyebrows, the eyelashes, the baby's lungs all begin to form also, and hair begins to grow on the baby. And it's very easy to know what sex the baby is at this stage. So when you do a scan at this stage, you'll be able to identify if it's a boy, it's a girl, or it's both, if you're having twins or multiples. And like we said, the baby kicks. This occurs there. This is called, in medical term, quickening, as the movements and the kicks that you notice occurring. And then you're past the 27, 28 weeks, you are in the third trimester. Welcome to the third trimester. baby is coming very soon. So between 7 to 9 months of pregnancy. This occurs, or you say, between 28 weeks to 40 weeks. At this stage, the pregnancy is not just showing anymore, but is really large and very visible. There could also be dark patches on the face. You could notice swelling of the hands, the ankles, the face. Why? Because of the pressure of the pregnancy. It presses down onto your blood vessels and doesn't allow free flow of blood supply anymore to the body. So this now makes there to be like a pool on your extremities, your face, your ankles, your hands begin to feel swollen far more than before. And you could also notice that you have breast discharge, milk discharge actually, not anything scary. And this discharge is called colostrum because your body is preparing for the birth of your child, for you to be able to breastfeed. That is why this is occurring at that point. And you could begin to have signs of labor. It's possible you go to the hospital, they tell you the baby has not yet engaged properly. You can still go back home, rest, take some walks, or don't go too far away from the hospital and come back. So this could occur in the third trimester because you're already close to the 40th week already. And at this stage, the baby has gained enough weight. The baby can blink, can turn, can close the eyes, respond to light, respond to movement, hear people's voices. Yes, children hear voices, even in the womb. The baby kicks and stretches. It could make you more uncomfortable, all these movements. And your body is ready for the delivery of your baby. The baby begins to engage more. The head of the baby begins to engage more down into the pelvis so that the baby can be born easily. But how does your baby get fed during pregnancy? There is something called the placenta. The placenta is what is responsible for providing your baby with nutrients and gases throughout pregnancy. And this occurs through a sort of pipe called the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord is what connects the placenta to your baby. So all the nutrients is coming from you, but it's connected to the placenta first, and from there to the umbilical cord to your baby. So the placenta also acts as an immune barrier, but don't take advantage of it because there are some things you need to avoid. There are some things the placenta would not be able to break the barrier and it will pass through and harm the baby. So what could pass through the placenta? Food, like we said. Food passes through. Glucose, oxygen, nutrients that keep your baby going in vitro, in pregnancy. And other things that you should avoid, let's mention them. They could pass through the placenta and you need to avoid them because they could harm your baby. So they are negative and could pass through the placenta. Alcohol, a major one for a lot of us. You should try and avoid alcohol, especially in the first trimester of pregnancy. When you take alcohol during that period, you could lose the baby easily. Nicotine, this is usually found in cigarettes. And caffeine, a lot of people that take coffee try and reduce it or avoid it during pregnancy. And tobacco, these things are actually harmful for everybody. So it's even worse for a pregnant woman. All these could pass through during pregnancy. They could pass through the placenta. But things that have higher weights that could not easily, there are also other things that cannot easily pass through. But these things we've highlighted, avoid them so that they do not affect your baby. Alcohol, caffeine, and nicotine. But what nourishment does your baby need? Do you need, you and your baby, during pregnancy? You need good food. And when we say good food, we're talking about vitamin C, calcium, folic acid, iron. Why? Vitamin C is not stored in the body. You need to take it in every day. Because what you take in today, if it's more than your body still excretes it. And if tomorrow you don't take in any, that means your body doesn't get any vitamin C. So a little goes a long way, and we can easily get that from fruits. Orange, tangerine, they are easily available. One a day would help to keep your vitamin C level intact. Calcium, you can find this in food like milk, almonds, tiger nuts, many other foods like that are available in Nigeria. Why? Because they will give strong bones, strong teeth, and they help in the development and function of the heart and your baby's heart also. And like we said, the first trimester is the period when a lot of these notable changes occur. So you need very good nutrients when you want to get pregnant, so that when you are pregnant and you don't even know, you have these nutrients very widely available in you. What other foods? Whole grains, legumes like wheat. We have wheat, we have rice. You can take Nigerian ofada rice, is very nutritious. It has thiamine. You could also take in other foods like legumes like peas, beans. Ewaloyin is there. They say the best is the black-eyed peas. Yes, what do they call that one? The white beans. It might not be sweet per se, but it's more nutritious. It's the most nutritious. Try and eat it. Groundnut is there, rich in protein. You can take that also. Soya beans is there. You can also take it, but in little amount. Don't take too much of it, so that it doesn't. Too much of everything is not good, so it doesn't affect your body. But it's very rich in protein, and the body actually needs a lot of protein at this moment to help to give you proper nourishment and to help your baby grow properly. Also, fruits and vegetables. In fact, these are the major. You need to take in a lot of fruits and vegetables because they provide all the vitamins and minerals that you need. And there's a lot of fruits available. Bananas, carrots, watermelon, lettuce, name it. What about the other vegetables we have? Efo shoko is there. When you make efo riro, different style, okra, ewedu, they all contain a lot of nutrients, from vitamin C to vitamin A to K, to all the minerals that your body needs. Bananas is there, rich in potassium, and it helps to keep your heart pumping well. And take in healthy fat foods like fish. What kind of fish? Salmon. Salmon is very good. Titus or sardine, you go to the market to buy it. Sometimes you can change it, buy shower, sometimes buy other foods. Walnuts, avocados, they all contain very good fat. So we're not talking about catfish today, red meat tomorrow, take a lot of beef. No, we're talking about more healthy foods, and fish is a very good source of all this, because your body needs to produce something called DHA, decacohexanoic acid, which would help your baby to grow properly, provide the best nutrient for your baby, would help with the development of your baby's brain. And don't forget folic acid. Folic acid, just 1 tablet a day is okay for you to go throughout pregnancy. 1 a day, 1 folic acid a day. You can also get it from vegetables. All the vegetables I mentioned before, the Yoruba own, the Igbo own. If you say you know it's Yoruba own, Igbo has their own. There's oha leaf, there is bitter leaf soup. Eat a lot of all that. And you can also get extra vitamins, which you might have lost depending on the way you cook your food. If you overcook your meals, prenatal vitamins are there. When there are a lot of prenatal vitamins that when you take the tablets, your body has enough for the whole day. So even if you don't eat very well, or you don't feel like eating like some pregnant mothers feel, you still get enough nourishment for your baby by taking prenatal vitamins. But you need to talk to your doctor before you get one, so they tell you the best to take, because not all vitamin supplements will be best for you. They have prenatal vitamins that have already been designed for mothers to use during pregnancy. And like I mentioned before, what food should you avoid during pregnancy? I mentioned alcohol, I mentioned foods containing caffeine, like coffee, What other foods? Foods that might have bacteria in them, and also foods that have high mercury levels. I don't know if anybody here has bought shark before. Maybe you went to the sea market or something and you saw shark fry. Those things actually contain high level mercuries, and mercury is toxic to the body. Most especially when you are pregnant, your body might not be able to get rid of it, and it could harm the baby. It could harm you. What else? Foods that are not well cooked. Why? Because they could contain bacteria, and when they contain bacteria, they could make you have diarrhea. Just imagine you're pregnant, there's a lot of activities going on in your body, and because of the food you got, you're having diarrhea, you're stooling, you're vomiting. It's going to make you very weak. So it's better to avoid it so it doesn't even occur in the first place. So avoid foods like that. And foods that have been over processed, like all these junk foods, burger here, pizza there, this one, that one. If that's the only thing you eat during pregnancy, my sister, please try eat natural foods, apples, bananas, air, and